Hey everyone, Alpha Eagle here again. Welcome back to my channel. I pray you're all doing well, and may God bless you all. This is going to be a quick video just to get something out there while I work on other projects. Organized Chaos had a debate with a YouTuber called the Backseater. The debate was over the Acolyte in the state of Marvel. So we'll be going over what they said about the Acolyte in this video. Bob, of course, thought the Acolyte was good, but like most normal people, the Backseater hated it.
So, Bob, in your own words, why did you like this show?
Do I think this is an amazing show? No. I actually thought episode 3 was kind of bad. There's lots of things I have critiques of. I thought the first half, I thought started strong. Then episode 2 was okay, and then episode 3 kind of sucked, and then episode 4 was kind of a slog. Then episode 5 really picked it up. That was probably my favorite episode. And then I think the second half of the season was really good, more or less. Do I think it's an amazing series or anything? No. I thought it was good. I won't call it amazing. I thought episode 5 was pretty amazing, though.
I'm curious to know why Bob defends a show so strongly when he thinks it was just good but not great. I think that he feels the need to defend it because it pushes the message. He sees that us chuds hate it and therefore he has to defend it. Okay, Bob said that it was good, but why specifically did he like it?
Because we have people exploring the light and dark side. The people we think are good guys aren't all that great, and the people who are bad guys are actually still kind of bad. But there's people getting tempted towards the dark side. I just like kind of like the exploration of the light and dark side.
So it seems that Bob likes the moral ambiguity of the show. He likes that this show shows the Jedi aren't 100% good and that the Sith aren't 100% evil. This is one of the worst aspects of the show. Star Wars has always had a well-defined concept of good and evil. The Force is binary. It only has two sides, the light, represented by the Jedi, and the dark, represented by the Sith. The good guys and the bad guys, the angels and the demons, the cops and the robbers, the cowboys and the Indians, the conservatives and the liberals, the Christians and the non-Christians. There is no in-between. There is the light and then there is the dark, and that's it. There is no third option. There is no middle. Sure, you can have morally gray characters in Star Wars. You can even have characters that switch sides from the Jedi to the Sith. And that's what Anakin's story was all about, his fall from and eventual return to the light. But there must always be that clear line that divides the light from the dark, and when you blur that line, you ruin what Star Wars is all about. The simple fact that Bob liked that the lines were blurred makes me question Bob's own morality. Well, Bob is a liberal who dates biological men, so we know that he has a warped view of morality. Now let's see what Bob has to say about continuity.
There's one more thing I want to talk about in this show before we move on to the next topic. It's like the retcons in this show, and I think you know which retcon in particular I'm talking about. You know, Ki-Adi-Mundi's birth year and his biology basically being retconned.
Honestly, so Disney, like when it comes to anything that was done when Disney did the purchase, they pretty much wiped away everything that was not in the movies and not Clone Wars, so they could build their own continuity. Ki-Adi-Mundi is a character who just had like a very small role prequels, and they wanted to just give him a little cameo in one episode, so they did. I don't see an issue with that.
So you got this character. You're basically contradicting facts about him just to have him in like a short little cameo. How do you personally reconcile this? Because I consider this like a big break in continuity.
That being said, Disney said they're not going to follow that, and they aren't unless they choose to pick out something to follow. They're just doing something different.
Bob very rudely laughs at the concept of sticking to continuity. How can you be a fan of Star Wars and not care about continuity? How can you be a fan of anything and not care about continuity? Now, I wonder if there's a property out there in which Bob actually cared about continuity. I mean, would he still be laughing if Disney ruined the continuity of an IP that he actually loved? Because it's clear that Bob doesn't really care about Star Wars. It seems that Bob cares more about the message than continuity. If they change the continuity of a female, racial minority, or queer character in a negative way, then he might care. Notice that Bob basically said that Disney can do whatever they want with their IPs, and he wouldn't care. He's essentially saying that Disney can do no wrong. Ironically, Bob essentially called Gary from Nerdrotic a corporate shill, that Gary towed the corporate line.
Brought to you from a director that was cast and not hired, who left the project early.
Now, obviously, The Marvels wasn't a hit, but he's going to attack her because she left before the movie premiered. She did, because she had another project to work on. By Gary going ahead and attacking her for that aspect, what Gary is doing is towing a corporate line. Because that was Bob Iger's reason. He threw her under the bus to explain the bad box office. So when Gary does this, I want you to understand, it's because he's just towing this corporate line.
Gary tows the corporate line when Bob himself essentially said that Disney can do no wrong. Bob is so far up Disney's ass that he knows what Mickey Mouse had for breakfast. Let's see what Bob has to say about bad press and online backlash.
It's getting a lot of online coverage, so it might.
I mean, hey, not all coverage is good coverage, but that's just me.
Coverage is coverage. Look what happened to Velma.
The bad coverage of Velma did not grant it its second season. The Velma was always going to get a second season. That's what HBO ordered. So
okay, I don't remember that.
Get a second season.
I do not remember that at all.
Okay, so basically what the negative reception did is that it basically canned any chances of a third season, but whatever.
Now, if you noticed, Bob put up a date for when Velma was officially renewed. Now, this was a pathetic attempt to prove this guy wrong. What Bob is omitting is that this is just when the second season was officially announced, meaning that this is just the date HBO told this information to the media. The actual date for when the deal was made for a second season could have been at a different time. Companies like HBO often order 2 seasons of a show that they have faith in order to have a second season ready to go so the audience doesn't have to wait so long in between seasons. And since animation takes so long to make, this is common with animated series like Velma. Now, to be fair, we don't know if that's exactly what happened, but it is the most likely scenario. So Velma most likely was always going to get a second season regardless of either positive or negative backlash. And now, most likely, Velma will not get a third season because of the negative coverage of the previous 2 seasons. So, how does Bob think the negative coverage will affect the Acolyte?
And, this is a terrible ending. This makes no one look good at all. It's what kind of ending is this?
Well, I mean, obviously it was... And we'll see if they do multiple seasons, but it was intended to have multiple seasons. It's not meant to be an
I doubt it's going to get a second season. That's just me.
I mean, we'll see. It's getting a lot of online coverage, so it might.
That didn't age well. Poor Bob. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I'm Alpha Eagle. God bless you for watching. God bless America. And I pray that Bob finally realizes that his worldview is not popular and people do not like being preached the message in their entertainment.